Here at the KSMO Studios, time for us to sit down with our friends from the Salem Memorial District Hospital, and it's called our Spotlight on the Salem Memorial District Hospital, courtesy of Emin Insurance. We have a newbie with us. We have Rebecca with us, and she's fresh off the farm. You know what I'm talking about? No, anyway, Rebecca, introduce yourself a little bit and tell us, how long have you been at Salem Hospital?
Rebecca Murr. I took the director of long-term care, and I've been there for 3 weeks. Still trying to figure everything out. And
Okay. One step at a time, right?
yes,
One step at a time. Can we move you a little closer to that microphone? I know you're kind of angled toward Ashley, so she's your bailout. Which is all right. But we have Ashley with us, too, as well. Good to have you.
Good morning.
Your plate's always full, isn't it?
Pretty full.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I
Yeah.
like it that way.
You do. You like to be a busy person, don't you?
I do.
Well, we're talking about long-term care today, and we've got a couple of things we do want to remind people of is that, yes, you can visit long-term care, but you have to do it within the constraints of what the hospital has set up because there's still COVID out there. We want to make sure our residents stay safe. And so, Rebecca, I will let you tell people how they can visit someone in long-term care. If
they can call our director, Shannon Seitz, and set up a scheduled appointment.
Okay.
They can have 2 visitors for an hour. We just put them in the family room with their family member. And we're still checking our staff and residents twice a week to make sure everyone stays safe, and we should catch anything quickly.
Okay, so very good. So just call ahead, basically,
Right,
is the
just
idea.
call and schedule.
You know, and don't call ahead like 8 minutes ahead.
Please no.
You know, give it a little time,
Right.
you know. Preferably the day before would be good, you know.
But even that morning, like if you
Right.
get up that morning and know you're going to be, if you call and we have the room open, then
Sure.
they can schedule.
Well, that's the other thing. You have to schedule it in around somebody else's possible appointment,
Right.
too. So
Right.
want to do that, too. So I understand that as of today, this morning, we have 3 availabilities in our long-term care unit. Men and women are welcome, right?
Correct.
Okay. So there is a waiting list, but the people currently on the waiting list are not ready. Is that right?
Yes.
So if you have a loved one that might be wanting to change facilities, or possibly they've been weighing that decision. It's not an easy decision to make. I know I let my dad make the decision when he wanted to make that change. Sometimes they have to be ready, and in doing so, they know when it's time, or they know that I won't say ever putting a burden on anybody, but they know they're not maybe able to do the things they used to do, and they're not as comfortable making family do that.
Right. And also, if they want to be on the waiting list, I mean, they can contact us. And
Sure,
that
sure.
way.
Another
But-
thing, too, if they're unsure about the facility, they can give Rebecca or Lisa Delaney a call, and we can always schedule a tour of
Sure.
our unit.
Yes.
So they can check it out and see if it's a good fit for their loved one.
Something that it is always a tough decision for a family to make, but they are right here locally. You know, the neat thing is they're close, and they get the best of care. And our long-term care is second to none when it comes to usually getting the rankings. And last time we got them, we were top in this area, right?
We are. We're currently at a 4-star, and this is public information. You can look this up. And so around this area, our facility is one of the top star-rated facilities.
So if you have a loved one that needs a little bit of help, and maybe, and you know, it is a time thing. You know, some people have to work and they can't just watch somebody 24/7. This is a great opportunity for you to find a nice location, and they'll be able to socialize with a whole bunch of friends, and I'm sure they're going to know somebody that's in that long-term care currently, because that's just the way this town is. If you've lived here any time, I'm sure you're going to know somebody there, right?
That's correct.
So tell us a little bit about Rebecca. Tell us where you came from. Tell us a little bit about yourself, if you would. So we got to introduce.
I'm originally from here. I
So
moved
that
away
makes it easy.
for nursing school.
Okay.
I moved back in 2012, and I've been a nurse for a long time, almost 20 years. When I moved
Okay.
back, I worked at the prison for a while, and this is just close to home and a nice group to work with. So
She has had experience in the long-term
Yes.
care setting before.
yes,
Okay. Well, that's my next question. Okay, obviously, I'm figuring you had if you're going to be over there and working
Yes.
with those people, and that takes a special kind of person. You have to be patient. You have to watch all the residents, because any little thing that falls, they could slip on or slide or they can't see. You're looking out for their health all the time, aren't you?
Right.
It's a neat place to go. If you've never been in there, I really highly recommend. Well, when they finally get a chance to open it all back up,
Yeah.
to go on by and visit, because those residents love to see people. And boy, do they have some stories to tell. And really, they're very interesting. And I know for years and years, when the kids go in at Christmas and they would sing for them and stuff. I mean, you just watch the youth come back into these people, and they just wanted to be a part of it. They just like to be included, really, just with everything that's going on.
They do.
We have a lot of activities scheduled, correct?
Correct.
With Shannon Seitz as our activities director, and
Okay.
she works really hard to keep the residents involved with activities. I mean, with COVID, these residents need that type of activity in their life because it can be depressing without having visitors, and they're used to their families being there every day for multiple hours, and that's really cut back on that time. So Shannon Seitz has done a very, very good job about keeping them active and their mental status healthy.
And she also does very good with sending letters to families.
Mm-hmm.
Like for Thanksgiving, as long as our positivity rates stay low, they're welcome to take their family members out as long as they use precautions.
Sure. Well, here's the thing. We all know that most everybody there has not grown up with a cell phone in their hand and live and die by that cell phone. They lived and died by social interaction, and that doesn't change. I don't care if you're 18 or 80. If you've grown up that way and you need that feedback, you got to get feedback off other people, and that's how you stay involved. That's how you communicate. That's how you feel a part of something. And I can't imagine when COVID hit it and then the isolation just took over, that who do you talk to when you're used to talking to people? You can talk to yourself in a mirror, I guess, and wait for a response. It doesn't come too quickly. But the idea is that that's how these people really nurture themselves and their souls, because they need that interaction with other people and to get that feedback. And it's a lot of fun. And they like to socialize in telling jokes and telling stories, which is great. I know my dad, all the way up till the day he died, was telling us stories, about what it was in the 30s and in the 40s, and just a different lifestyle, but how things were back then. And it really is an education that you get when you talk to these people, because their memories back then, that's when they're the sharpest, and they'll know to the detail what
Yes,
they did
they will.
those days. It's pretty amazing.
If you take the time to listen, you can learn a lot from these elderly residents in
very
these
much.
nursing homes, for sure.
And a lot of our girls have been there. I mean, they know the residents and they interact well
Right.
with them. So
Things we've done in the past with COVID, we've tried to get creative to try to keep them, involved with their families by FaceTime. We've scheduled visits. I mean, we've had periods of time where we've been on complete lockdown, so we have scheduled visits outside their
Through the
window,
window, right.
open up the window. Their family members gather outside. We've scheduled visits on the patio where they're 6 foot apart, because our main goal, although we want to keep them active with their families, our main goal is to keep them safe and all the other residents safe, because once you get one case of COVID in the facility,
Oh.
it spreads like
Yeah,
wildfire.
so
Yes.
They're not going anywhere. They're all compacted.
Right. And so we've done a very good job. The first round, obviously, I feel like everyone was still learning how to keep people isolated and keep loved ones safe. But the second time around, we did a fantastic job. I believe we only had one COVID case throughout the Delta variant, when the Delta variant spread through the community. So
Pretty amazing. It really is amazing.
the staff and families really worked hard together and kept them all healthy.
And that had to be tough on those residents. They want to hug their grandkids. They want to hug their great grandkids. They want to hug their daughters and their sons too. But, they live for that. I mean, really, that their families is what they really live for. And then to be separated by a pane of glass or even 6 feet apart, better than nothing. but it's still not
takes
the
a
ideal
toll.
situation.
Very
Yeah,
much.
and you really have to feel, and it's really not just them in long term care, but everybody was kind of put in the same situation. And unfortunately for them, they aren't able to get out and about and do those things, and maybe just get out and enjoy that freedom because you don't want them to get them sick. You just don't want to take that chance, and it's really very difficult. But things are changing.
Yes,
So if
they
you'd
are.
like to
They are.
visit that loved one, get in touch with the hospital, get in touch with long-term care. Shannon can take care of you, set that appointment up, and then you'll be ready to go. Now, again, if you are interested in a long-term care facility at Salem Hospital, which has been around since, 88, I believe? You're not going to know. It's been a long time. I was here. You weren't.
No, I was a little kid then, Stan.
Yeah, you're still a little kid, actually. You're still a little kid. But it's been around a long time. And they have made improvements, and they just actually part of the renovations. They made some changes there, too. So they keep it right up to date, and your loved one will feel very much at home. It's a very social place even though with the COVID, it's still a very social place. A lot of talking, a lot of different things go on. And when everything gets back to normal, I'm sure they'll have their Cardinal nights again and different things. And you even get Casey dressed up in a Cardinal uniform, get him out there, have some fun with him.
Oh,
But, it's all about that. And with the holidays coming up, this really becomes kind of a tougher time, doesn't it?
It does.
You
We're
just
happy to be able to allow them to get out and about and actually take outings this year.
Yeah, that
That'd
would
be
be
very good for them.
fantastic. That would be just wonderful. We can do that. But long-term care at Salem Hospital, again, check it out. It is, as Ashley was mentioning, it's documented. It is, if not the top one here, it's like second, but I think it's the top one. If I remember from the last surveys at the board meeting, I saw that we were ranked 4-star. We had the highest ratings in all the categories over everybody. So that's pretty cool.
Yes.
I like that.
agree.
I don't know, wish we could have everybody say that, but not everybody can do the same job. It's a tough job to do. Very good. And we know it's a tough job on you too, Rebecca, because you got to strategize everything in there. And you always got to be creative too, don't you?
Well, correct. And
Yeah.
I mean, it is. And like the COVID is hard on families.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one of the first things we worked on was trying to get them so they could visit their families.
Absolutely. And then working with the nurses and trying to always have a smile on your face because the nurses at that point become their family, don't they?
They do.
So they have to.
And
find-
we have a wonderful staff back there. They do.
Yeah. You do have a wonderful staff back there. Those ladies are some special ladies.
Oh, they are.
Actually, the nurses, all of them, have been special. I mean, I know when I had spent my visit to the hospital last year, right around this time, as a matter of fact, a little bit before this, all the nurses that have come in, guys, girls, physicians, assistants, anybody who's come in has always been there trying to, make you feel better, making you feel positive about what's going on, and you're COVIDized, I'm going to use that new term that I made up, COVIDized, because you're stuck in a room. They come in a hazmat suit. You feel like you're radioactive because they can't touch you. They can't do anything. They have a mask on. You can barely see their eyes because of the little, hoodie they have on or little gown. And you're thinking, who are you? I recognize the voice, but I can't tell who you are. So
It
I
can
like my
become
word.
Very depressing for individuals that are suffering through that
Yeah.
for sure.
It was difficult because
Yeah.
you feel so isolated.
Yes.
Like, guys, I don't feel bad. I feel good. Just let me get out of here. But you got to do what you got to do, and it is what it is. But I always appreciate the fine work that the nursing staff does over there. Long-term care, acute care. It really doesn't matter where they are. Outpatient surgery. It doesn't make any difference. They're all very, very good. And a matter of fact, I guarantee you, if you talk to them long enough, you're going to know somebody in their family. And that's what's pretty cool, And when you go through it, you finally say, well, who's this? Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Small community.
Small community. It's just like home. Guys, I don't really have anything else to talk to about long-term care. Do you?
I don't.
All right. So if you would like to make an appointment, if you have somebody in long-term care, and you'd like to make that appointment, call 729-6626. What's the extension down there?
Shannon's is 3336.
Okay.
And mine is 3332.
Okay. So if you need to make the appointment through Shannon, then just hit the extension 3336. Once you call 5317 or 6626, goes right to Shannon. tell her what you like to have done and get it done that way. That's fantastic. And who you want to meet with, and they'll set that all up. And with the holidays coming up, that's going to probably be pretty active down there for her to set up sometimes for people to get in there. But if you have a loved one that would be interested in being in the long-term care unit, again, also call, and should they talk to you, Rebecca, or
They can talk to me.
Or should they talk to
or
Lisa?
Lisa Delaney.
okay? Okay, so either one, talk to Rebecca at 3332.
Correct.
Okay, there,
Lisa
and
Delaney is 2710.
you got that memorized. Do you have the whole directory memorized?
Nope.
I bet you have Bobby's radiology number recognized.
Yeah, I got that one
bet you,
memorized,
yeah,
yeah.
you should. Yeah, and yours.
Yep.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, Lisa gets a lot of calls.
Yes, she does, for sure.
Okay, very good. So Lisa Delaney is the social services director. So if you have questions there about long-term care and about Medicare and how it's paid for and different things of that nature, she can answer all those questions. Very good. All right, great to have you guys here. It's a beautiful day outside. I'd say go out and enjoy it if you can. If you can't, it's still a little cool out there, but, make sure that you take care of yourself.
Well,
And
Thank you.
us.
before you get out, have a happy Thanksgiving. We're not that far away.
Oh, no, you too.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
It's here already. Is our spotlight on the Salem Memorial District Hospital Long-Term Care with Rebecca and Ashley. We thank them for coming in. Right here, brought to you by Inman Insurance.
Wild West Casino Night returns on November 6th at the Salem Community Center to Armory, and tickets are available